Still on the new development of Senator Godswill Akpabio's incarceration somewhere in a UK hospital. A lot of things seems to be happening right now that people are finding it really difficult to comprehend. Now, as a matter of fact, this morning I gave you gist and information that Femi Gbajamiamia, who happens to be the chief of staff to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, was given an ultimatum by His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic, to go and come back and make sure he gives him a good report. While we're still trying to bask in the euphoria of the Chief of Staff to the President, Akpabio's personal jasman also had to fly down to London. Now, when they all got to London, the whole place, everything changed. Everything changed because so much has been said, so much has been done, and people are all beginning to have different views and overviews of how and what to do to make this thing become to play. But in as much as it's that difficult, it's also been very, very pertinent to note that Senator Godswill Akpabio needed a lot of. So, with the look of things right now, the presidency feels that this is actually a monumental disgrace. Yes, this is actually a monumental disgrace. Not just a monumental disgrace, but this is also a situation where people are beginning to take the presidency for granted. So, with all of this happening right now, the president has now mandated Femi Gbajamiamila to make sure he comes back with something very strong and something very concrete. Now, in the part of all of this, yesterday, immediately after Sunday service yesterday, Pastor Jerry Eze now had to take a private jet fast to go and have a conversation with Senator Akpabio. Yes, Pastor Jerry Eze flew to UK to go and have a conversation with Pastor Jerry Eze. And after the conversation, which lasted for about 2 solid hours, yes, 2 solid hours, and that conversation lasted, guess what happened? Pastor Jerry Eze came out from the hospital looking quite elated. Now, nobody could actually tell why he was looking elated. Nobody could actually tell what he saw that made him to look elated. Now, is it possible that what our fears, what we've been scared of all this while, is not true? Is it possible? Is it possible that Senator Akpabio is not dead as we have been saying? So there's so much, there's so much at stake that people could not really comprehend, people could not really understand, people could not really have a genuine hold of what exactly is happening. So with all of this happening like this, it is very, very pertinent to note that the expectation of people is beginning to be very, very high, because people are now beginning to be a little bit confused. People are beginning to be like, so how exactly did this happen? What exactly did this happen? And when things begin to happen like that, when things begin to materialize in such a way that people cannot really have a very strong grasp of what's happening, then it now becomes pertinent to know that, as a matter of fact, things must not happen the way they've always been happening. Now, for Pastor Jerry Eze to come out of that hospital smiling and looking happy, even us that saw that video were also a little bit excited, knowing that, wow, this one, that the man is out of the hospital looking like this, then we should somehow expect good news. Yeah. So good news should somehow come around, so that this good news is now what can actually help us to really know that, well, it's not as bad as it seems. Now, you know that the president is trying to actually have a very clean name, because over the years, they've always been giving the president very bad name. Each time anything happens, they're going to give the president bad name. Each time something happens, they'll give president bad name. If a cock does not deliver, they'll give president bad name. If pipe-borne water is not working, they'll give president bad name. So they've always consistently been giving president bad name. And president is actually now looking for a way to see that he corrects all of these abnormalities, because to him they're actually becoming too much. And if all of these abnormalities continue like this, then it's actually going to be a very, very disastrous thing to note. And when things cannot really be comprehended in this like manner, then it's now the things are actually going to fall apart, and the center can no longer hold. Now, all these years, all this time, in as much as people are always struggling, people are always stressing, people are always having different notions, different feelings, different dimensions to how things relate, it is still pertinent to note that the president is still interested in the well-being of his citizens. Now, the $1,000,000 question we're asking everybody is, if another person now was to have these issues and challenges that the Senator Akpabio is passing through now, will the president still have the same measure? Will he still have the same feeling? Will he still attach the same importance to it? Because if he's going to be still attaching the same importance to another person who has these issues, then of a truth, the president deserves a second term. Yes, the president deserves a second term because he is doing everything in his powers, everything in his capacity to make sure that come what come may, whatever that happens, he is actually going to have a field day having a thorough understanding and wisdom of how things should go. So we are really excited, we are really happy that finally Pastor Jerry Eze has actually gone to see Akpabio. And when he went, saw Akpabio, he came out, he was looking really elated. And this also shows us that at least for once tonight, Akpabio's wife is going to sleep very, very, very well. Yes, Akpabio's wife is going to sleep well today. All those nightmares she's been having, she's actually been having consistent nightmares. So all those nightmares that she's been having all these years and all these days, those nightmares would begin to diminish. Those nightmares will begin to go, because last, the way it is right now, there's some form of ray of hope. So even all those perceptions that we've been having, because what do you expect if somebody says somebody's in the hospital and you go to the hospital and you cannot reach the person for several days? Everybody will actually have that perception and mindset that of a truth, this person is no more with us. But with the fact that right now the man of God has gone to visit, things will definitely have a different dimension. Thank you.